Morning, everybody. It's a little, I call it a time error in the setting for the time for my stream. But for people who are my regular, you know that I am on between 6 and 7. About 5 minutes early, so probably I might leave 5 minutes early, so it's entire 60 minutes. Well, it's another day. It's a Friday in the morning, and Jamaica has been influenced by the cold weather from North America. So we are practically having a little cold front in the morning. It's a little bit chilly. Temperature is mostly under 30, about probably about 27 degrees Celsius. And it's about 4 minutes to 6 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. This is your boy Raleigh, and welcome to another hour in Fish Talk. Okay, so this morning we talk about an interesting topic. We talk about the whole idea of a no worries, stress free aquarium installation. We talk about a self cleaning. The research information, the information on this aquarium in particular. I just at a glance without reading it, I thought that it was actually talking about the setting up of a biotop, the setting up of aquarium where in which you have planted aquarium and you have the filtration system and everything does panta out itself because the tank could actually be you know lightly stocked with the waste actually supplying the plants with nutrients, and I thought it was something like that. But when I read further on, I realized that hey, this idea is a crazy idea. So let's talk about it. One has ecosystem in the aquarium, right? You have plants, you have substrates, right? You have scapes, you have all that. Without any cares of human intervention, that's really a bit to chew on, right? As I said before, after close looking at this thing, like it's not something that I would actually include within my system, right? Based on my limited knowledge of chemistry and biology, uh, although I think I passed 11th grade biology, I think I have a little knowledge of how aquarium filters work. Aquarium filters are expected to act like strainer for the water, right? And we're talking about the self-cleaning aquarium. Now, follow the tone of the argument as the whole idea is put forward. I want to tell me whether or not you think that this idea actually sounds logical or is practically healthy for your aquarium fish. Now, aquarium filters are expected to act like strainers. It's expected to simply filter out the little things that exist within the. A matter of fact, aquarium filters mostly filter solids, right? Unless you have like chemical filtration system and probably might have biological filtration system, then no, it actually works on the dissolved minerals or dissolved waste within the tank, right? And it is within the filter that you actually find most of um the beneficial bacteria. And the beneficial bacteria help to maintain the nitrogen cycle. Now, self cleaning or no clean aquarium to me is a fraud. It's a gimmick, something to sell money. It's a empty promise, right? Which is, I think, marketing companies and the puppets like those promoting this concept here on YouTube should be brought to books as far as the animal rights activists actually um, keep monitoring channels like mine and yours and be criticizing, and in some instances they even admonish that YouTube actually take down some of these videos. Now, it is my opinion that the idea is designed for persons that are not really interested in fish keeping, that the innocent, the unsuspected individual, persons who don't really have uh, I call it a real vested interest in in keeping fish. You will need to feed your aquatic pets, right? You will need to supply it with appropriate mechanism to get oxygen. You also need to do a bit of water change. Now, question: would you have your baby running around in the same pampas for the entire day? A matter of fact, for entire week. Um, you know, with all that waste in the pampas. Um, no, consider the entire life of the child. Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. That would probably after the first couple of hours, that would be like a really nasty episode, right? Now, having a good pond system with aquarium fish in it, with the same water without a biological mechanization, biological filtration system, merely a mechanical system, and when I explain it to you, you will see what I'm talking about. It's not really a mechanization system neither, right? I'm going to explain it to you, but I just want to set the part for the whole, spilling out of the beans as to what this is all about. All right. So it's not even chemically filtered, right? So the toxic issues for your which relates to your aquarium fish is practically not really addressed, right? Okay, so some of you might be thinking, really, rubbish things that are good, and really always come up with some stuff that um practically it's not, there's no evidence that certain things really occur. Well, if you doubt me, you can go on Google and you can search up self-cleaning aquarium. You can look at the kit that they actually have, the self-cleaning aquarium, and read the instruction as to how they say it works, right? And hit me back and let me know what you think. But fair enough, that I accept that that's your opinion. Let's look at the concept of self-cleaning aquarium. Now, self-cleaning aquarium is said to be designed based on physics, right? The idea is that waste sinks when the fish actually excretes its waste, it sinks to the base of the aquarium, and you would have like some rocks in the at the top, specially designed reservoir within the aquarium, right? And these rocks would facilitate the waste actually coming in between it. Give me a few minutes. Yeah. All right. Sorry. All right. So the rocks found within the reservoir. Okay, cool. Now listen carefully. The idea and the concept gets even more interesting. It is said that the owner of the system just need to pour into the aquarium, or into what they call an aquarium, right? Um, uh, aquarium fresh, aquarium appropriate water, and a hydrostatic equilibrium self-cleaning system does the rest. Now what happens is that you have a little tube, like a siphoning tube, that is placed between the reservoir, and it comes out at the side of the aquarium. And when you actually pour the water into the aquarium, self-cleaning aquarium, when you actually pour, hey boss, what going, boss? Yeah. Enough respect. We're talking about self-cleaning aquarium. As I said, when I first saw it, it just stuck out. So I thought it was like a biotop. I thought it was a planted aquarium. I thought it was something that a unique system. But when I'm looking at it, I'm saying to myself, say, hey, this thing is just so weird, right? It's like a container with water, with a special reservoir at the bottom, with a siphoning hose, and I'm not 100% sure if a small pump is in it. I never really dig deep into it, but the whole concept just had me flabbergasted, and I just decided that listen, I'm gonna look at it, right? But I think it's more like siphoning physics. The whole idea of you throwing water and the siphoning hose would actually take out allow the waste that sits at the reservoir to actually be pumped out through the siphoning hose at the side, right? No. Here's a problem with the concept, Fred. Here's the problem with the concept, Fred. Um, First and foremost, biological solid included solid waste from aquatic pets only become harmful to your fish or aquatic creature whenever it becomes dissolved in the water. No, so you will see my ponds with those little those cuttings from plant roots and some to some extent algae, right? And it floating. Some of the time I had just a bad day getting that underwater footage, and the fish might flirt up some mess, and you might say that the aquarium or the pond need cleaning. However, I might have just did some water change, and the chemistry of my ponds are okay, but the real danger lies within the dissolved minerals, or should I say the dissolved waste that exists within the system, whether it be an aquarium or a pond. Nitrates and nitrites dissolve, and it's created as a result of the waste. Eventually ammonia exists, and the fresh clean water added just to me it's just delay in the inevitable. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, boss. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So in looking at it, the whole idea sound as if the person who doesn't want to do any water change, maintenance for the aquarium, a parent who have a child. But I'm coming to that. I just let's look a little bit at that the system before we even look at that part, right? Because a whole bunch of things that go through my head as far as a self-cleaning aquarium is concerned. Remember, the system is designed with the intention of the owner never actually cleaning the system. To me, that is totally impossible. Well, probably to someone who might be what you call it now, a chemist or a biologist, or someone who is an inventor, probably they might say that it's possible, but you're gonna have to do minimal maintenance. So I would like to see that concept be laid out so as to proper fathom how that works. Because I know that you're gonna have to do timely water change. If you don't do timely water change, you're gonna have to have a system where you have something to actually do the chemical as well as the biological as well as the mechanical filtration. All right, and your stock is going to have to be your stock is going to have to be to a minimal, because this you don't really want to do water change. Remember, the larger the body of water that you have in your system is, the less you need water change. And we looked at that as far as having large aquarium, and you will see some of the stuff in it I actually share since week regarding pH and large aquarium versus small aquarium actually pens out in this argument. Now, coming down the argument, right? You should know that small system by no means represent any given space in nature where aquatic creatures actually um reside. Now you have the whole idea of uh persons having fish within very small space, but in nature this is not the case where it comes to aquatic creatures. Aquatic creatures are in the wild, and they are the space that they have is, large enough to sustain them. It's not only a box, right? Okay, cool. Although 75 is still a little box. Okay, I I assume, this is my assumption, that the main reason why most people buy self-cleaning, well, would up to, I would consider this system, is because they think it's going to be a low risk way of giving a child. Your child asks, Mommy, can I get a pet? Mommy, can I get a pet? And the easiest way to soothe that child is to just buy this system where you just put a little one fish in it, and the fish is there and the child is happy. This is indeed a strong tone, but it is the truth. Practically, it's the slow death to that fish. Right now, I believe that this move by owners of the system is to create a stopgap with someone with an appetite for a pet at the moment, possibility a child, right? It is so sad though, because um, why would you might ask the life? Why you might ask? Why you might ask for a pet? Isn't it because you want to ensure that the pet live as long as possible? No, putting the pet in something like this is like a time bomb. The livestock facing this system will eventually die, and will die a cruel death. You still need to change water at least twice a year. And that means, no, Derek, this system is actually being sold, This system is actually being sold, and persons are loving it because they were loving the idea. I don't know if they love the actual thing. Yeah, yeah, indeed. That's totally true, Derek. That's totally true. Right? That's totally true, brother. No, please don't watch the hype. No, there's a lot of hype and grandstanding with regards to the system. Persons might testify that the system work, right? But the possibility of a kid getting this aquarium from his or her parents, this is so sad. And why, you might ask, the livestock will die, right? Now, as I said, please don't watch the hype. Manufacturing companies and the marketing companies, they need to make their own monies, right? They need to get products out there. They need to be I call it now, creative. Now this system is less than 1 gallon based on research, right? And my personal experience and my little knowledge in nano aquariums, nano tanks, or small tanks as you might know it as diff as I am aware of nano tanks and small tanks. It's more difficult to maintain, and I shared that yesterday. Right, small tanks are more difficult to maintain as the parameters, the chemical parameters, the biological parameters have to be monitored constantly, or else you might have a spike in something within that system as a result of something not being attended to properly and with ease. It is expected that it's only the really experienced hobbies should at least attempt a nano tank, right? A nano tank takes a lot of time and effort. All right. Follow me now. Follow me now in this reason, guys. Now, when you eat, right, your body produce waste, right? And it's the same as a fish, except they have to live in it. Now, imagine um you living in your waste for one day, as I said about the baby. No, I trust me, I wouldn't want to. No, with a no clean, self-cleaning aquarium, right? This is practically what is being said. The fish would actually live in its waste, live within an environment that it's so, to me it's so cruel, guys. Um, the understanding of the natural of the nitrogen cycle is important. In providing a fish with a healthy environment, you have to know about the nitrogen cycle, right? Um, this idea clearly just conceptualized to generate quick sales, as I said before, from persons wanting a temporary fix to their child nagging. Yeah, I want an aquarium. I want a pet. Your child might say that they want a dog, so yeah, the parent go out and they purchase a pet, some I call it now mechanized, something that makes a lot of noise and imitate that of a dog. The question surface again: who will clean it? What will clean it? How will I have a pond system. I have pond systems, and sometimes I say that I'm not gonna actually. Yes, it's worked for some time. It worked for some time. Goldfish living in a bowl doesn't normally last long because after the first couple of months, you tend to have this neglect. Yeah, for the first couple of weeks, you might end up change water regularly because a goldfish in a bowl, you might need to change water at least 4 times for a week. If not, it depends on the size, probably every single day, right? And each time you change the water for a fish, it is stress. And it's recommended that when you change water for your fish, you don't feed the fish immediately. That means upon having the goldfish in the bowl, practically the goldfish will be starving because you're changing the water so regularly, you won't be able to feed the goldfish as how it's supposed to be fed. So the goldfish will be remain slim. So in a sense, why the goldfish are go mager, lack of fat, right? Yeah, that's my take on it, friend. That's my take on it. All right. So 22 minutes already. Wow. Okay, all right. So when your fish produce waste, uneaten food is left in the aquarium. It produces a substance called ammonia, right? This is extremely toxic. It's like poison to the fish. And when in a small aquarium, you don't need much to harm that fish. Now, in a no clean, self-cleaning aquarium, this is going to be a problem, right? Remember, you don't have a filtration mechanism where you can take out the filter pads and actually dispose of them, or you're not going to do a 50% water change. The concept is you have the container there, which is less than 1 gallon, and at certain time, well, the waste goes below in a reservoir. You have a siphoning hose, and as you throw the water in, at the siphoning hose, the waste at the base of the reservoir is forced up by the pressure of the water that is being poured in, so the waste actually comes out through the tube at the side, and you set something there, catch the water, and throw away the water. So the conceptualization of this is that the water becomes fish safe by just doing this. In a sense, it's like a water change, but it's throwing clean water and dirty water for the rest of its time. So you're not gonna have no moment in which you take out the substrate and actually clean it and all that. To me, that's just total messed up. It's total messed up, friend. Honestly, total messed up. Um. When you have a small volume of water, right? You talk about ammonia. You have a small body of water. The this can be built. Ammonia can build up very quickly, right? There isn't enough water to dilute the waste, right? And resulting in the fish by contract disease and dying prematurely. Now, I have done several shares on this. That's the nitrogen cycle. You For those persons interested in looking at the nitrogen cycle as to what I have presented, you can check my videos in my catalog of videos. Not necessarily those that are below. Probably I might at the end of this stream add that one to it. But in my list of videos, you can see the nitrogen cycle. Now, when it comes on to fish keeping, one of the first things any experienced hobbyist will tell you, right, is that you need stable water parameters. Now, I spoke about pH during the course of this week, lowering and increasing pH, right? You need to get it right as far as the aquarium is concerned, because not every fish will be what I call it now, be able to live within certain pH, right? And we talk about what is pH the other morning. So for those persons who have missed it, you can actually go and you can listen to that pH, lowering pH and increasing pH, and the reason why, and it explains it all, right? This one we're looking at self-cleaning aquarium, right? Now, when the fish is within a water where in which the pH, the chemistry of the water, right, is out of balance, it results in the fish being stressed, and a stressed fish is more susceptible to pick up uh, disease and parasite. Thus, the sick will get sick. Now, stress. This is how it works. This is how it works. Now, stress triggers an alarm reaction, a fight or flight response in fish. Now, this results in a number of changes in the body. Now, I do laugh sometimes because self cleaning fish tank don't clean the tank. Think about it for a second. How do they work? They use a pump or siphoning, right, to siphon the water, take out the water from the bottom as you add clean water at the top. Remember, I just tell you that a while ago, right? Now you add water, so they are self clean. So it's not really self clean. It's like replacing the water. So practically, the person who designed this is just designing an aquarium for a lazy person. Now, seriously, how do these company think filter work? No, by no way this system actually envision any form of inclusion of any filtration system. Really imaginary system. No, well, you see, once you can think it, once you can think it, friend, you can actually do it together. I have done projects, and this is another stream probably I might think of. Do you share your failed projects? I have done projects in which have failed. Ideas are videotape, ideas, hours of videotaping ideas, but these ideas just when I put it to test, it doesn't work, so therefore I don't publish it. But that is how you actually learn to to design things, and to consider the failure and consider the success, and then eventually you will get it right one day. So imaginary system will work one day, man. It's just for you to put it together. Now, let's look a little bit more on the self cleaning thing. Now, on a regular, 50% water change will stress your water, your aquarium, right? Your aquarium fish. Remember what I said before, that the concept wherein which persons change water in a goldfish bowl, right? It every day. It stresses the fish every day, and that's the reason why a goldfish never normally lasts long. If you're doing the right thing with that goldfish in the bowl, right? The right thing is you're supposed to change the water every single day, but every time you're doing water change, whether or not your fish look healthy and strong, aggressive, biting at your fingers or whatever, your fish is being stressed. By just changing the water, you're actually changing the parameters in the water, even if it's just slightly, zero point 0.5 or 0.3% or whatever. It is being altered. The parameters is being altered. So therefore, the parameters are being altered. Sorry, my language, right? So you need to pay attention to that. Now, you changing water within this system, right? It's gonna stress your fish. In fact, even if you keep and tapping up the water itself. It's going to change the water chemistry, the water, the chemical composition of the aquarium space, the aquatic space that the aquatic creature is actually living in. And this is not only limited to fish. Person keep other aquatic pets in water, right? So this argument, this whole idea surround a persons interested in aquatics, or should I say aquatic pet. Now, whereas um if you do water change, like let's say once a week, you only stress your fish once a week. It's a 50% water change. But if you do water change every single day, you actually stress your fish every single day, right? Now, it is true that it will take you a bit longer to perform a 20-25 water change on a 20 gallon than let's say on a water gallon, 1 gallon, sorry, right? So it will take you more time. I talk a little bit slower and a little bit softer. It will take you more time to do a smaller percentage of water change in a 20 gallon than in a 1 gallon. But really, this argument is, it don't really make no sense, right? In other words, what they're trying to say is that you doing the top up thing and the water actually being siphoned out from the bottom reservoir, it will take a very short period of time and you have no stress, right? No, me not see it that way there. And actually, on the contrary, to popular belief, the majority of regular maintenance work does not require twice as much time for twice the size. Alright, for example, a regular once a week water change may require one more bucket of water to replace in a larger aquarium. However, that does not that does not mean that does not translate into twice as much work. You have already have the bucket, a siphon mechanism ready in your hands. So now you know the dangers of keeping fish in a locked inside a tiny self-cleaning tank, which actually still require you to clean it anyway and to do water change 2 to 3 days, because this system, how it is set up, you still need to do water change 2 to 3 days, right? You need to top up 2 to 3 days. It's something that is recommended. So although they say no water change, self cleaning, really and truly what they're trying to say is that you don't really go inside of the aquarium, right? Now here's what someone who deals with aquarium maintenance and the whole idea of taking care of your aquatic creature suggests. Well, here's what I suggest: don't buy a small bowl, a vase, or self-cleaning tank. Get a good size aquarium, right? And don't overstock. Now, if you really, really want to keep your fish, keep your fish healthy, buy a child a decent aquarium, right? Or you can say for those persons can't be bothered with the whole idea of buying the pump and filters and all that. Just buy a kit. I did a video on kit versus built aquarium a few months ago, right? That's a very good thing to do. You can actually buy it, set it up. It comes with the light, it comes with the pump, it comes with everything that you need, and it accommodates a healthy fish, right, life. And the fish can live a very long time in that you can get one single fish, probably a goldfish, and put into a kit, right? Or if you want, you can get a betta fish, whether male or female, and put into that kit. You have your light, you have your pump, you have everything you need. And some kits come, it depends on where you buy, where you purchase the kit from. It even comes with a nice little stand. So you can put it in the corner of your child's bedroom and have a light in it. So therefore the light can be used as what you call a night light, right? It doesn't require much attention, and you can actually do your maintenance probably once a week. You have cut out the whole idea of this self-cleaning aquarium. This is for lazy people, man. It's being sold to being sold by marketing companies to make a buck. Okay, so proper filtration. Now these aquariums tend to have three-stage filters built in. And when I said three-stage, I mean, like, I did a few months ago by different type of filtration, and I think I have a playlist on aquarium filtration, right? So you can check that out also. Where I speak about the different types of mechanism used within your aquarium. You have your biological stuff, you have your mechanical stuff. For example, biological would mean like plants and stuff like that. Mechanical would mean like your sponges and your rock or your shells within the filter container. And chemical filtration, you probably can use the shells and what you call it, the carbon, yeah, activated carbon that could filter as a use as a chemical filtration system, right? And it reduces the time that you need to actually clean, because what happens is that when the water is actually being pumped through these three mechanisms, usually it's like some pads. And I love how the kits actually structure the filtration system, where you have like the sponge at the back, and then you would have the a pad with some activated carbon in the middle, which does the chemical filtration. And then you probably can get a plant and place in it, a little aquarium plant, and that would do the biological filtration, and you will have a healthy aquarium. Now, proper filtration encourages the growth of beneficial bacteria, right? And again, I might do a stream strictly on beneficial bacteria, how it works, where it's found, and how you actually preserve it, right? I have done several videos in which I've shared on this, but I I I I have. Hey Fred, oh, you get so quiet. Where are you? You can sleep. Alright. I have done several shares on this, but so as to bring it to the fore, I might just take it out by itself and look at it. If you do make a mistake, a child feed the fish a cookie, your filter will break up the all those little granules that is within that little kit aquarium, and you can actually simply remove the entire filter basket, filter system. You can dispense of it, throw it out, and you can actually be comforted that you have depends on how much cookie anyway, or donut or bread, right? Because they might end up with cloudy water, a whole bunch of stuff. But it's easier for you to maintain, and it's less likely that you will actually harm your fish. Now you have more options, right? You have the option of getting a large aquarium. Now most beginner, it's advised that most beginner get average of about roughly 20 gallons, yeah, and probably about six fish within that 20 gallon. I For some persons they like large fish, and they go for the large fish first. But wicked man, wicked, they're a good boy, wicked boss. All right. So most beginners begin with like 25, 20 gallon. I wouldn't recommend that persons entering into fish keeping go beyond 30, because that way you're gonna be entering into big stuff, and it's to me, fish keeping is a gradual process. It's like when you go into grade school, you go one K1, K2. So it's like by the time you reach K3, you're ready for the big world. So it's like that for me for fish keeping. Now, if you enjoy yourself with the 20 gallon, then you can actually enter into a larger aquarium, where now you can do more stuff, right? But starting out in an aquarium, I would say a 20 gallon. I wouldn't put any substrate in there at the beginning. I would just start out with that. Start with the regular maintenance, the filtration, water change, feeding the fish, watching the fish. You can almost say something that you would beep out, right? Watching the fish grow and all that. And probably after a few months, If you feel that you can get a hang of this, you start do some little aquascaping, you start do some little planted stuff, put in a substrate. And you might ask, why is it that I recommend putting in a substrate for a beginner? Substrate requires maintenance, right? And it might take some amount of work for someone having a substrate, whether it be gravel or sand or shells, but it takes some amount of work to actually do that. So therefore, you're gonna have to feel your way around that, and probably you might get a little bit impatient, and you might end up messed up, and it might cost you either your fish or your entire system. So it takes a while, and it can be fun if if you're if you're consistent and meticulous with the procedure. When you are not consistent with how you actually keep your aquarium fish, what you find that you end up burying the fish at the back of your yard, or probably flushing it in the toilet. I know I did a video on that, how you dispose of your dead fish, and I never knew that so many persons would find it fun, but it was really fun doing it. What you do to get rid of your dead fish. You find that heartbreaking, and a lot of persons, when they started out, they start out, they can tell you the memories of the first pet. Having a fish, you don't have to walk it. You don't have to take up no poo. You don't have to bring it in during the winter. You don't have to be consider that you are not there, so it's going to be tearing down the house. I understand, because you lock it up in the house. Having a fish is awesome as a pet, because it's just a simple way of having um being next to nature, as one would say. So as I wind down with the argument with regards to the the idea of no cleaning, no maintenance, no nothing like that for an aquarium system. Um, what is your take on the whole issue after explaining it? Do you think that the marketing companies, the companies that actually designed this mechanism, is actually honest in their product as to how it works, and whether or not it works really well? I think that a lot more work needs to be done to the idea. I think that if the idea came with a system, that they have automatic water changer, right? And in this automatic water changer, it's a little bit complicated, but a little bit more efficient as far as water management is concerned. um Automatic water changer, I did a piece on that a few years ago or months ago, where which I actually analyze it, criticize it, and I never liked the idea. But compared to this, an automatic water changer would be more proficient in keeping your aquarium fish. But having an automatic water changer, this would probably be more appropriate for someone having a large system, and just unable to physically do water change or do the maintenance on a regular basis. So what happened with a automatic water changer is that water is always leaving the system, and water is always entering the system. So practically, it's like you have a pipe turn on and a drain unplugged for the entire life of the system that you have, right? So there's a lot of water. Some persons do it just like how they do farming in Jamaica. You have a drip system, where in which you have like drips of water being released in the drain, from the system, from the pond, and drips of water being added. So therefore, it's so minute that you probably would take days to actually see what's happening. Right now, that system probably might work with a more appropriate filtration mechanism. So let's go to the filtration mechanism a little bit. Now the filter will remove solids because over time filter um okay. All right. Let's dig into what Mr. Derek has said. Automatic water changes become complicated once they left the DIY realm and become retailable. That's true. I think automatic water changer. It's something that you yourself would have to design. You have to design the timing in, the timing out. You just have to design the pump. You have to, hey boss, what go on? You're getting an automatic water changer pump. No, no. The risk with automatic water changer pump is that you might have a fish room with an automatic water changer. I don't know where you're at, but in Jamaica, light goes away very regularly, right? And so, hey, Munoz, what's up? Your bestie's here. Funk, your bestie's here. Munoz, hey, what? Yeah, big up yourself. You see, in Jamaica, light goes away like regularly. When I say regular, I don't mean like every day, but it's unpredictable. So, if you have an automatic water changer, your chances are, you're gonna have some electrical component there, right? Okay, boss. Cool. Remember, you have to hydrate. Hydrate. I don't know how you guys do it. How you guys exercise with, the social distances. How you keep that, right? Yeah, man. I understand, boss. I understand. I say aquafunk, you smell the mullet fish. Yeah, man, I exercise, man. I'm gonna be doing my walk shortly. I walk in the morning, probably half a mile, and get ready for class after that because I'm at home. If I was at school, I would. Ah, hey, two guys are besties, Two guys are besties. It's cool. It's cool. So who knows? I missed you the other day, boss. I guess you overslept, right? You overslept. Remember, this channel is not rated PG, so these are two friends. Don't get it twisted. If you're watching this stream, and these persons, Joe Munoz and Aquafunks are besties. They just always be throwing barb at each other. So don't get them twisted, right? They're cool. And the referee is, of course, none other than Derek, aka Dead Fred 821. Right, it's awesome to have you guys here this morning. Another live stream coming from Jamaica, 6 to 7. So I have 12 minutes, and we were on the automatic water changer. Now here's the thing with the automatic water changer. Now, to some extent, the automatic water changer might might cost you if careful attention is not placed in the timing of the drips or the timing of the release. You might end up flooding the aquarium, or you might end up flooding the fish room, or yeah, wherever the fish, the pond, or whatever is kept, right? You might end up flooding, or you might end up creating an accident where in which the water is actually released at a quicker pace than the water is actually being filled in. So it's a timing thing. It's a thing where in which you have to be precise in what you're doing. Where in which the same amount being released is the same amount being replaced, and also should in case Uh, well, I know that you guys are my besties, right? So, and you guys my friends, and you are friends with each other. So to me, that's business, and that's good enough. You are so crazy, guys. You are so crazy. All right. Um. Yeah, that's true. True was true. Call the paramedics. Call the paramedics. Call the paramedics. Someone is about to be get knocked out. Wonder who, if they go in a ring. Wonder who will be standing after like the first round. What you think? Someone goes to the gym versus versus someone who doesn't go to the gym. Oh, he's wishing. I said, Funk is wishing that he's as fit as you, so he could actually throw the jabs, right? Ah, boy, ah, boy, ah, boy. You guys are so messed up. You guys are so messed up. So it's coming down. It's coming down. The time is coming down. I have roughly around 8 minutes left. In wrapping up, in wrapping up. Not really 8 minutes. I think it's 8 minutes. Yes, 8 minutes left. Right. So in wrapping up, as we talk about no man, nobody had him, man. I'm begging, I'm begging. Let's just be friends. Let us drink, be happy. Although I don't think that you can manage any sort of drinking monos, because you have to put in those replenish all that you're losing in the gym. So no alcohol, no nothing, not strong. You can't afford to drink and get messed up. Next thing, you're trying to lift a 100 pound, and you actually lie down flat, because I don't think you can lift more than 20, right, Funk? Do you think Joe can lift more than like a 20 dumbbell, like up to probably a 10? Yeah, exercise his arm. No, 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 he's my friend, he's my brother. It would be nice to see how it would pan out when both of you have, and I'm going to do that. It's just that I have not gotten around to it. Whereas I'm going to be giving Joe a range to see how you two guys pan out with that. ah, okay, all right. Um, oh, I studied. Yeah, as I said, the automatic water feeder coming back from the advertisement of Joe, Munos, and Aquafunk Aquatics. If you have not checked them out, I admonish you, I ask of you to check them out. They will be in the description at the end of the stream, where you can check out their channel and their most recent postings. Of course, Dead Fred 821 Derek, aka Dead Fred 821. The link to his channel is in my description below within the stream, and I'll be making some adjustments as soon as the stream is over, so you can check it out. Right? The Dead Fred 821 has a presence, so his channel is like growing, and he is doing his thing. He has his projects and he's working on, and it will be awesome if you join him with those projects. Drop a share and a like, and tell him Raleigh sent you. All right. Uh, so, Joe, what were you doing? Were you doing push up? What Funk was doing? Funk was like doing like the timing thing, like doing the push up while he times how much push up he can do within like 5 minutes or something like that. You guys are just yeah, you guys are just so messed up. All right. Okay. So in wrapping up, I have the final 5 minutes. I'm gonna ignore Funk and I'm gonna ignore Munoz for the next 5 minutes as I wrap up the presentation this morning. Um, okay, Funk is now saying, and he's actually saying something and contributing to discussion. He says, truthfully, a hot water changer would be necessary for me to have fish room because of my busy schedule. So I guess Fong probably not considering the possibility that he might come on one day and see all of his fish out of water because something happened and the water that was supposed to be replacing, well, probably you'll be doing it as a drip system, right? And probably you actually be like measuring the water on a daily basis to see how much you lose versus how much you actually. That means it always be like jumping instead you doing jumping jacks then, Joe. Joe, you're taking me off my point. All right, but good. Yeah, water changer. It is thrown off it is thrown off track whenever you have a power outage, or probably let's say that you have a power surge, and some circuitry actually. Yeah, I know that this is not something that actually this is not something that actually goes that regular, right? Ah, yes, boss. Yes, boss. Keeping me in line. Okay, okay, cool, cool. It's not something that actually happen, like let's say on a regular basis, but being the forward thinker that I am, Funk and Derek, I think of automatic water changer as a potential disaster waiting to happen. It's like you have one eye open saying that, listen, it's a possibility that oh boy, oh, you guys are so at it. It's like coming back to what I'm saying, right? It's like automatic water changer to me. It works, and it works well in some environments in a huge system, but although it's automatic, it still requires some means of I call it now regular checks. You have to be checking the system. I shared it with you in a stream recently where a pet shop in which I go to in Upper St. Andrew in Jamaica, just near the police commissioner's office, right near just around that side. There's a pet shop, and it has a fish room, and the fish room has a centralized air system, air pump, a huge air pump, right? And one hose actually leads from that huge air pump that is in the air. Of course, your air pump is always placed above all aquarium system, right? And it actually serve several aquariums, large 100 and something gallon, and some other small one, because the pump is very huge. And one morning I came in and the shop. I think I was searching for feed, and I was looking for some embalmers to purchase, and I realized that one aquarium was practically empty, and it had a smell. When I asked the attendant for the room what had happened, they shared that the pump went out in the night, I guess in the late night, well, probably about 10 o'clock there, but I was estimating. And then when they arrived minutes after 9 in the morning, they saw a couple fish dead and some gasping for air. So they had to move in quickly and change the pump and get rid of the old one. And, they lost some amount of stock. And looking at the pump, the size pump, it is not a cheap pump. I was considering using one for my ponds outside, and that probably might run you near to about what you would say about 200 US dollars, about probably about roughly in Jamaica about $30,000, right? Because about 142 something, they're about 142, 143 per US, right? So sometimes when we set up things to save us time, save us money, save us energy, it end up create a very very ugly situation in the future. So with regards to the maintenance, with regards to the automatic water changer, the automatic system, it still requires some amount of time, and you still have to have a schedule where you have to check the pipes, you have to check the drip, you have to set the timing, you have to ensure that everything is precise, and with that comes the a healthy and a happy fish. Now, this is really signing out of 60 minutes. I have class, so I have to prepare for class. I have to exercise myself like Joe, and it's really cool being here, sharing my time with you. I think that this morning's topic is of great significance to us as fish keepers and to prospective fish keepers, as they try to, as best as possible, keep their aquarium stock uh, healthy and strong. Much appreciation to my friends and all those viewers who have actually tuned in this morning. Joe Munoz, you can check him out on his channel, Aquafunk, Dead Fred 821, Derek, I should say Derek, aka Dead Fred 821, and all you peeps listening that are silent, that are not saying anything. I appreciate your company. It was a really cool experience, and I had a couple laughs. It was not a quiet morning. I enjoyed my stream. I appreciate it. Take care of yourself, as Rob would say. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Happy fish keeping. Big up yourself. Bye bye, guys. Catch you next time. Peace.